We live in a culture obsessed with massive, overnight success. We are taught to set audacious goals, to dream big, and to take massive action. We believe that if we want to change our lives, we need to make massive, earth-shattering changes. But what if this entire approach is fundamentally flawed? What if the secret to extraordinary results is not found in massive leaps, but in tiny, almost imperceptible improvements? Imagine a plane taking off from Los Angeles, heading to New York City. If the pilot adjusts the heading by just 3.5 feet to the south, a change so small it would be completely unnoticeable to the passengers and the crew on the ground, that plane will not land in New York. It will land in Washington, D.C. A tiny change at the point of departure results in a massive difference at the destination. This is the core philosophy of James Clear's masterpiece, Atomic Habits. An atomic habit is a tiny behavior that is part of a larger system. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. When you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you are done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day, you will decline nearly down to zero. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. However, there is a catch. When you make a small change, you expect a small, immediate result. But habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. It is the most frustrating part of any journey. You are putting in the work, you are showing up day after day, but the results are not visible yet. This is the valley of disappointment, where people give up because they think their efforts are failing. But they are not failing, they are being stored. Just like an ice cube sitting in a room at 25 degrees, heating it up to 26, 27, 28 degrees shows no visible change. But at 32 degrees, it begins to melt. The work you did at 26 degrees was not wasted, it was simply being stored. You must persist long enough to break through this plateau. To do this, we must first understand what we are actually trying to change. There are 3 layers of behavior change: a change in your outcomes, a change in your processes, or a change in your identity. Outcomes are about what you get. Processes are about what you do. Identity is about what you believe. Most people start with outcomes. They want to lose 20 pounds, or write a book, or make $1 million. But if you want to change your behavior for good, you need to start with identity. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. The goal is not to read a book, the goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon, the goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to learn an instrument, the goal is to become a musician. When your behavior and your identity are fully aligned, you are no longer pursuing behavior change. You are simply acting like the type of person you already believe yourself to be. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but you will only stick with it because it becomes part of your identity. So, how do we actually build these identity-shifting habits? Clear breaks down the science of habit formation into a simple neurological loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. The craving is the motivational force behind every habit. You do not crave the habit itself, you crave the change and state it delivers. The response is the actual habit you perform. The reward is the end goal of every habit. It satisfies your craving and teaches your brain which actions are worth remembering in the future. To build good habits, we can use these 4 steps as a framework, which Clear calls the 4 laws of behavior change. To build a good habit, we must make the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. To break a bad habit, we simply invert the laws, make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response difficult, and the reward unsatisfying. Let us begin with the first law: make it obvious. Many of our habits are so deeply ingrained that we do them on autopilot. We do not notice the cues that trigger them. The first step to changing this is awareness. You must become aware of your current habits. A powerful technique for this is a habit scorecard. Simply list out your daily habits and mark them as positive, negative, or neutral. You are not judging yourself, you are simply observing. Once you are aware of your bad habits, you can begin to design your environment. Motivation is overrated, environment matters more. If you want to drink more water, place full water bottles in every room in your house. If you want to practice guitar, place it in the middle of your living room, not in the closet. The people with the best self-control are typically the ones who need to use it the least. It is easier to avoid temptation than to resist it. By making the cues of good habits obvious and visible, and the cues of bad habits invisible, you can drastically alter your behavior without relying on willpower. Once the cue is obvious, you need a plan to execute it. Clear introduces two powerful strategies for this. The first is implementation intentions. Most people say, "I want to exercise more." This is too vague. An implementation intention is a specific plan, I will, behavior, at, time, in, location. For example, I will exercise for 30 minutes at 7 a.m. in my living room. This removes the ambiguity and the decision-making process. When the time comes, you do not have to decide, you just execute. The second strategy is habit stacking. This involves tying a new habit to an existing one. The formula is, after I, current habit, I will, new habit. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Because you already do the first habit every day, it becomes the cue for the new habit. This leverages the natural momentum of your existing routine to build new behaviors. Next is the second law, make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become a habit. This is driven by dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation. Crucially, dopamine is released not only when you experience pleasure, but also when you anticipate it. It is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. We can harness this through a strategy called temptation bundling. This involves linking an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For example, if you want to watch Netflix, but you need to exercise, you can bundle them. I am only allowed to watch Netflix while I am on the treadmill. You are making the hard habit more attractive by pairing it with something you already crave. Furthermore, habits are socially contagious. We imitate the habits of 3 groups in particular: the close, our family and friends; the many, the tribe; and the powerful, those with status. If a behavior will get us approval, respect, and praise, we find it attractive. To make good habits attractive, join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to get fit, join a running club where fitness is the default social norm. When behaving in a certain way is the standard in your group, it becomes highly attractive to fit in. Conversely, to break a bad habit, make it unattractive by reframing your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding the bad habit. Make it seem like a burden rather than a relief. Now we arrive at the third law, make it easy. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. We will naturally gravitate toward the option that requires the least amount of work. Every habit is governed by this law. We want to make good habits as easy as possible to do, and bad habits as hard as possible. This brings us to a critical distinction: motion versus action. Motion is when you are planning, strategizing, and learning. It feels like progress, but it does not produce a result. Action is the behavior that will deliver an outcome. If you want to write a book, motion is outlining the chapters, action is writing a page. Motion allows us to feel like we are making progress without the risk of failure. But to build a habit, you must take action. And to take action, you must reduce the friction associated with the behavior. The most effective way to do this is through environment design. Create an environment where doing the right thing is as easy as possible. If you want to cook healthy meals, chop your vegetables and prep your ingredients on Sunday so they are ready to go on Tuesday. Reduce the number of steps between you and your good habits. But what if you are struggling to even start? This is where the 2-minute rule comes in. The rule states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to master the art of showing up. You want to make your habits as easy as possible to start. Read before bed each night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for class becomes open my notes. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The first 2 minutes are just the gateway to the larger behavior. You cannot improve a habit that does not exist. Establish the habit first, optimize it later. You must standardize before you can optimize. To break a bad habit, you invert this law, make it difficult. Increase the friction. If you want to watch less television, unplug it after each use and put the remote in another room. If you want to spend less money, delete your saved credit card information from your browser so you have to get up and find your wallet to make a purchase. Add steps between you and your bad habits. Finally, we reach the 4th law, make it satisfying. The first 3 laws increase the odds that a behavior will be performed this time. The 4th law increases the odds that a behavior will be repeated next time. The cardinal rule of behavior change is simple: what is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. You are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. The human brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. The immediate reward of eating a donut is powerful, the delayed reward of being fit in 6 months is weak. The immediate reward of skipping the gym is relaxing, the delayed reward is health. This is called the time inconsistency of the human brain. To stick with a habit, you need to feel immediately successful, even if it is in a small way. You can solve this by adding a little bit of immediate pleasure to the habits that pay off in the long run. For example, if you want to save money, open a savings account called Leather Jacket or Vacation. Every time you transfer money, you are getting an immediate visual reward of your goal growing. One of the most satisfying feelings is the feeling of progress. This is why habit tracking is so powerful. Using a habit tracker, like marking an X on a calendar every day you complete a habit, provides a visual cue that you are moving forward. It is inherently satisfying to cross something off a list. It also keeps you honest. The most basic principle of habit tracking is, don't break the chain. But you will inevitably miss a day. Everyone does. The most crucial rule for consistency is, never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new, bad habit. The difference between winners and losers is not that winners never fail, it is that winners get back on track faster. To break a bad habit, invert the 4th law, make it unsatisfying. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is painful. One way to do this is to create a habit contract. This is a verbal or written agreement in which you state your commitment to a particular habit and the punishment that will occur if you do not follow through. You can also get an accountability partner. Knowing that someone else is watching you can be a powerful motivator. We care deeply about what others think of us, and we do not want others to have a lesser opinion of us. The pain of letting someone down can be more powerful than the pain of doing the work. As you master these 4 laws, you will eventually reach a level of mastery where you need advanced tactics to keep improving. This brings us to the Goldilocks rule. The rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy. Just right. If a task is too easy, you get bored. If it is too hard, you get discouraged. To maintain motivation and achieve peak performance, you must constantly seek challenges that are just slightly beyond your current level. This is how you stay in the flow state. As you master a habit, you must gradually increase the difficulty to keep it engaging. However, even with the Goldilocks rule, there is a final enemy you must face: boredom. The greatest threat to success is not failure, it is boredom. We get bored with our habits because we have done them 100 times. We lose our motivation. But here is the truth. The only difference between the professionals and the amateurs is that the professionals stick to the schedule even when the amateurs do not feel like it. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It is the ability to keep going when the work is not exciting that makes the difference. Professionals take action even when the mood is not right. They might not enjoy it, but they find a way to get the reps in. Mastery requires falling in love with boredom. You must be willing to do the work even when it feels mundane, even when it feels repetitive, even when you do not feel like it. As we conclude this deep exploration of atomic habits, remember that habits are not a finish line to be crossed. They are not a problem to be solved. They are a lifestyle to be maintained. There is no permanent solution. There is only the continuous process of refining, tweaking, and improving. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your goals are about the results you want to achieve. Your systems are about the processes that lead to those results. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Focus on your system instead. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. It is the aggregation of marginal gains. It is the compound interest of self-improvement. By focusing on getting just 1% better every day, by shifting your focus from outcomes to identity, and by mastering the 4 laws of behavior change, you can build a system that makes success inevitable. Thank you for joining this deep dive into atomic habits. If this framework resonates with you, if it challenges you to look at your daily routines with a new perspective, share it with someone who is ready to build better systems. Remember, you are the architect of your habits, and through your habits, you are the architect of your life. Go forth, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying, and build the identity of the person you wish to become.